She is compassionate. Like I said, she has a contagious spirit. And so I want to formally recognize Kelsey Loushin as our 2022 Toast of the Night honoree.
And I do public speaking, but I'm really nervous right now. And then I saw Mark had notes, so I guess I'm allowed to have some notes too. So thank you. First of all, I'm going to try not to cry tonight. I do have my tissue just in case. First of all, the weather gods seem to always rain down on us here. I don't know how this always happens. It might start out kind of rainy in the morning, and then it always starts to clear up. So you're in good hands. So thank you for coming out tonight to celebrate this amazing organization. I am very uncomfortable receiving anything here because of everything that they do. I just feel like I'm called and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on this earth by being here. So I'm really honored to be a part of this tonight. I will keep my thoughts short and sweet so that you can enjoy the rest of your night. But I do want to tell you a little bit of a story. I'm kind of a storyteller like my father was. So a couple of thoughts about Cornerstone. I'm sure many of you can relate to a story of when you meet someone. You meet someone sometime in your life, many, many years ago, and then they show up later on. And you always wonder why. Why did I meet that person? And then you find out years later why you did. And that was Julia. And Julia Ellifret, who is now the executive director at Cornerstone, who's one of the most humble people I will ever know. She and I were actually working in the same kind of industry. We're speakers, we're both trainers. And I wanted just to really meet her. And I went and I met her, and I just really enjoyed her spirit. I just knew that she was doing what she was called to do. And she told me about this really interesting organization. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. It's a nonprofit that everyone can use. And for me, that was the game changer, is that I want a single person. I don't know any other nonprofits that can do that. So I watched them grow, and I remember meeting her at this little office, this little rinky-dink office. And I'm like, how is this organization operating out of this little place, right? And then she and I just kind of connected, and we kept crossing paths over the years. And then they constructed this amazing facility and just kept staying in touch. Little did I know that I would also then turn to Cornerstone after I started doing some work with them and to support them through all these silent auctions. Little did I know that I would ultimately turn to them for my own grief journey. And again, it's one of those things that you really can't explain. And I went through a series of very significant losses in my life. And I remember thinking to myself, what do I do? Who do I talk to? How do I get through this? And how do I live through this? And she's the person I called. And I said to her, I'm not right. I'm just not right, and I need help. And again, it's just amazing, like the cycle and the circle of life, how that happens. And so I came to Cornerstone, not as a facilitator and not as a fundraiser, but as a consumer. And I went through an amazing experience with a support group, and I'll never forget it. And after going through that, I knew that I, at some point, would have to return that to the people that I knew. And a couple of years later, I was called, and I absolutely knew I was called here. And I knew that I had to help people who had suffered addiction losses, because that was my training and that's been my life. And so every opportunity I can, I come to Cornerstone and I help run those groups. And I can't even describe to you the pain that we witness in these rooms. I can't describe to you how much I want everybody to understand just grief when it touches people who have had addiction. And to understand that these people are torn apart and they've lost someone because of an absolutely horrible illness. And all we're here to do is help them to live with it, because you never get over it. You will be changed by your loss, and every one of us has experienced losses of some type, and we know it changes us, but it makes us more caring, it makes us more compassionate, it makes us more patient, it makes us less judgmental, and it makes us want to help. And so for me, that's what Cornerstone has been. It's been this complete circle. And just remember, if you experience a loss, if you know someone who is going through a loss of any kind, this is the place that can help them. They've helped me. I see the changes in people as they go through groups, and I watch them understand that in spite of their loss, they can live with it and survive it and thrive ultimately at the end of this journey. So tonight, again, this isn't about me. I'm incredibly honored, and I thank you all for coming out here, but this is about the Tripodis and a huge loss that this family experienced many years ago, that as a result of that, they had the wisdom to decide that this is what people needed, that we need to come together and to support people who are grieving. So thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you've done. And thank you all for coming out tonight to support this amazing organization. And I hope you keep coming back. And enjoy the rest of this fabulous night. Thank you.